Good morning. My name is Jennifer Baker. I am the owner and lead trainer at JBC Pushing Digital Boundaries. We have been providing digital marketing services since 2012. And today we are going to be talking about designing graphics for social media with Canva. So before I get into it, how many of you use Canva? So put it in the chat with a yes or a thumbs up or a smiley face. If you've never heard of Canva, never touched it before, you can say no. Just to get an idea of, who we've got in the room. And we do have 76 people registered for today, so I imagine they'll be coming in shortly. So we've got a lot of yeses. We've got some learning. Geneva's learning. Welcome. And you know what? I'm still learning because Canva is such a great program. They continually update and adapt. So we're going to go through some of those new tools as well as kind of the tried and true tools that maybe you've already seen, but they've tweaked a little bit. So without further ado. So my name is Jennifer Baker. I'm going to be the facilitator for today. I love teaching, I love training, and I love marketing. And that's why I do a lot of these webinars. So I stay current, but then I also get to do a little bit of training. So what we're going to learn about today is brand kits. We're going to do design strategies, tips and tricks, and generally being more confident on Canva. So there's some people, excuse me, who have been to this webinar multiple times. I can guarantee there's at least a handful of you who have come multiple times and you learn something new every time. So really, we're going to be setting up your account for success to make sure you're the most efficient that you can be. Getting into some apps and a little bit of AI because as you may have read, Canva has introduced AI tools recently. So I want to show you some little tricks that you can do with that. And I was playing around with it this week, so I'll show you some examples. So that's generally what we're going to talk about. Again, it's all going to be relevant to what you're doing. And I like to take suggestions from the audience. So the more I know about your business, the more I might pick on it for examples. So again, for those of you who have come to sessions, I go on the fly. So if I've got a lot of people here, maybe in retail or art, I kind of tailor the program today to that. So the more I know about your business, the better. So feel free to put it in the chat, introduce yourself, who you're representing, what you do, and then I generally pull from that for a lot of my examples. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. 3-minute introduction. So what's Canva? Canva is probably one of the coolest tools that's been introduced. I thankfully was introduced to it about a decade ago. In the middle of nowhere in Northern Ontario, there was a young woman in a session that I was doing, and she said, "Have you heard of Canva?" And I said, "No." And that probably was either 2013 or 2014. And since then, it's kind of been my go-to, design platform. I do know Photoshop. I know all those tools. I grew up using those tools, but Canva is kind of perfect for what I need and probably what a lot of you need as well. So you can use it on a desktop. So if you're sitting at a big computer or a laptop, you can use it there. But if you want to use it on your phone, you can use it there too. Mind you, I wouldn't recommend doing a lot of like intricate work on your mobile device here. It might get a little bit tricky, but it is available for you there as well. So what can it do? It can do a lot of really cool things, and it can do a lot of things that Photoshop can do. So they do come with lots of images that are used for free. They've got tons of layouts. You can do very simple photo editing, and then you can collaborate. So if you've got a hybrid team, or even somebody working across the office from you, you can share your designs and kind of work on them together. So it's got a lot of really good tools and systems set up for it. Now we're here to talk about social media design specifically. So you can see we've got Pinterest, Facebook, and poor Twitter is no longer Twitter. Don't get me started. It's now X. But you can also do a lot of print material as well. So business proposals, blog graphics, presentations. I use PowerPoint, but that's okay. I'm stuck with it. You can do invitations, business cards. So it's online, but then you can also do this for any print materials as well. So it can be both. So you don't need two different programs. Now there is a cost to it. So Many of you probably use Canva free, and that's great. There are limitations. I'll try to point them out as we go through. But Canva Pro, you can use it for around $150 a year, and you can have up to 5 people. So my team, we use Canva Pro. It's $150, and I've got 5 of us on the team plan. So you can use free, but the Pro might give you a little bit more options as well. All right, so let's talk about your brand kit. So the brand kit really allows you to set your business up for success. So many of you here are probably using Canva just for your business, the organization that you work for, and you've kind of got that set brand identity. And this is where you can put all of that information into Canva. So this means loading in all of your logos, the different variations of your logos, your colors, any font typefaces. And then you can share that folder with your team members or colleagues in the office so that they know what to use. Because the last thing that we want is for a logo to look off, for a logo to be, pixelated, things that we don't necessarily want. So you can share kind of those high-end assets. You can also make templates as well. So if you've kind of got that templated look and it's a matter of switching out some small graphics or visuals, you can do templates within this brand folder as well. So that's one piece. I'm going to show you some apps in a moment, and then I'm actually going to pull over Canva and we're going to show this live so you can see kind of how this functions. The next thing that I'm going to show you kind of once I pull over Canva is your apps or your applications. So they're kind of add-on third-party tools that Canva has allowed to use within Canva. So different tools like adding shadows, adding different color palettes, different mock-ups. So I want to show you where to get these, how to access them, because they can kind of really take your designs, and I don't really like the term, to another level, but it kind of sets you apart a little bit, and they're free. So all of these apps within here are free to use. It's just a matter of basically telling Canva, yes, I want to use this app. Okay, so let's talk about this. I'm going to make sure we can still see everything. Okay, good. So this is Canva. If you've never seen Canva before, Genevieve, I think, is learning. It can be a little bit overwhelming to start. There's a lot happening on this page, but I want to draw your attention to the far left-hand corner. So over here on the left, we've got brand, and it's got a crown. So that indicates that it is a premium product, essentially. So when you are looking at this, I've got my brand kit in here. It says Jennifer Baker Consulting. I've got some templates and I've got some brand controls. So I'm going to click into JBC, and then you're going to see all the variations of my logo. Okay. And this is what you can do as well. So oftentimes, if you've gone through the process to get a brand identity, you've got multiple variations of the logo, different sizes and shapes. So this is what I have here. As we scroll down, we can see the different color palettes. We can go down to fonts, so you can set your font. So it's just similar if you've done it in Microsoft Word, in those types of programs, so you can set your fonts. You can also set photos. So if you have basically pre-approved photos, you've had brand photography done for your team or your office, you can put these in here as well. So you're not constantly looking for these tools. You can also go through and say, well, and I don't have them, it's not part of my kind of kit, but you can have different graphics in here as well. So even if they're ones from Canva that you find yourself going back to a lot, if it's the social media logos or just simply some simple designs, you can add them in here as well. So you can have graphics, you can have icons, and then it's one kind of beautiful little brand kit for you. So it's as simple as add new, upload logos. You can add your guidelines in here as well. So that's your brand kit. I certainly recommend doing that, and certainly with the colors, because it's going to make it so much easier. So I've got a bunch in here for different clients that I work with. So it's easy for me to go through and pick and say, okay, these are the colors that I'm approved to use, I'm allowed to use, and then kind of go with it. When you're adding any colors, you can say add a new color, and then you've got the hex code. Does everyone know what a hex code is? Do you know what? Tell me in the chat. No? Okay. So every color that we see has codes associated with it. So it might be a CMYK, it might be an RGB. This one, so there's CMYK. You can actually add in your hex codes, so they're identical. So I have, it's a Google Chrome plugin. So this up here, it looks like an eyedropper up in the top, and I can pick from any web page. So you can go back to your original brand identity. You can use a web page, and you can say pick color from web page. There's that yellow or this orange. Now it's changed the orange, and I've got the hex code, which is this 6 alphanumeric. There's RGB and so on. So you can get those identical colors for you. So that Chrome plugin, it's eyedropper. It's easy to go. And I see that Susan asked a question, add guidelines. So sometimes logos come with guidelines. So they have to have certain spacing requirements around them. You're not allowed to change them from green to orange. So that's really what the guidelines are. It's not something that, I can tell you what it is, but oftentimes it comes if your company has done a complete branding or brand identity kit. Yep, if you have a pre-existing hex code, you can just plug it in. So FFF is white, so you can do, I'm just typing in letters here. So that's, that's your hex code. So provided you've got it, you can just plug it in. All right, so let's go over to your apps. So again, a lesser known tool, but that's why you're here. They're just little things that are going to make your life a little bit easier. So again, on the left-hand side, under brand, we've got apps. And there's a lot. I'll tell you my favorite, but you're welcome to go and kind of peruse it at your leisure after today's session. So all of these apps, so we've got QR codes. There's lots of variations of QR codes. There's different productivity. There's design. So you can search at the top here, and there's lots. Okay, so let's talk about my favorites in here. So number one, any tools that have to do with additional graphics. So things like pexels. How many of you have heard of pexels before? It's stock photography, like free stock photography that you can use. So if you don't find anything in Canva that you want to use for imagery, you could use pexels, and it's going to bring up their catalog. So you don't have to go search separately, download, and then upload. It's kind of all put together. There's another one. Oh, I don't know where it is. There is another one, but I can't see the logo. They may have changed it. Okay, so pexels would be one. The QR code, QR codes have made the biggest comeback in the last 3 years that nobody expected. So provided they're used correctly, you can have a QR code developed right in Canva for any link. So newsletters, emails, website addresses, and so on. So you can have that integrated in there as well. Other bits that are important in here, there was one more. This one I was playing with yesterday or the day before, and I just thought it was so fun. You can do bingo card generators. And you think, okay, Jen, like, I don't need a bingo card. These are really great tools for social media engagement. So for Instagram stories, for, Facebook, you can type in, actually, I'm just going to do it in a new design, just so you can see how it works. Okay. So now on the left-hand side, it's going to say, create a simple bingo card, enter some words. So let's just see Halloween. It's going to give us some words here. You're going to say a 3x3 bingo card. You want 10 of them, the font type, and we can just say create bingo cards. So whether you're using it for an Instagram story to get engagement, hey people, what are your favorite things about Halloween? Now we've got 10 different cards essentially that we can use. Also putting on maybe your volunteer hat if you got kids in school and you're responsible for the PTA and you're making bingo cards, this can also be really handy as well. So you can take a lot of these tools from work to personal very easily. So bingo cards is kind of an example of that. All right, I'm going to go back to our apps for a moment and I want to show you QR codes. I think I just have to type it in because I can't find it. Hello. It's not in here. Okay. My next favorite one is smart mockups. Has anyone used smart mockups before? Anyone? We have 38 people here. Maybe they're all just listening. Okay. Okay. Smart mockups will probably change your life. So if you sell any sort of physical, tangible good, if you're a web designer, let's just take a peek at this. So smart mockups, and I'll just use this guy here. And you think these are really weird situations happening. So I'm going to grab this guy. And what it will do, it will take, do you like these little bath bombs? They're pretty cute. Let's just upload. Upload. Sorry, it's confused right now. I know why. Here we go. Okay. It will take any image that you have and put it on a shirt, a tank top, a hoodie, a coffee mug. So for any of you that provides this type of service that you're doing and creating these tangible goods, these will provide those mock-ups for you so that you can put them on your website, that you can share them on your social media. Okay, so you can see all these different, bodies that you can put your clothing on, the different types of imprints, and they've added a lot in the last, short amount of time. So there's that, but then there's also smartphones. So anywhere where you're seeing this blue sky and cloud is where you can put your design. So I've got kind of this office look. I'm going to say select, and then I'm going to put that on it. Okay. So these smart mockups are really good and they're going to save you a lot of time. They've really increased the capabilities of this in the last probably few months. So I would look into that. Take a little look, see if it makes sense for your business. But as simple as having cell phones and laptops and computers with your designs or your team on it, very cool. Okay. So that's my small rant on apps. I love apps in Canva. So I would encourage you to go through and see what makes sense for you. There's a lot in there, but again, find the ones that work best for you. Okay. So your designs and templates, and that's what a lot of you are here for today. So when you're starting with a template, sometimes it's a bit easier than a blank slate. Not all of us are, as talented to start with a blank slate and kind of create something. Sometimes we start with a template and then kind of change it a little bit. So when you're searching for templates, you can search based on the social media type. So here we've got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So you can key in Facebook Reel and have it pop up, or YouTube banner and have it pop up. You can also get very specific about what you're looking for. So you could just say Thanksgiving. So this is what I keyed in. This is kind of a holiday that's coming up. This is what I've been provided. So I can see square formats. I can see more story formats. So sometimes, yes, you can start with Instagram or Facebook, but if it's for a specific event in your organization, look for that keyword. And I'm going to pull this over and just show you. All right, so what's an event coming up? First one in gets searched here. Please be kind. Anyone? Maybe Suzanne. Maybe Tanya. Women's Leadership Conference. Okay. Can I just say like, okay, I'll do women's leader. I'll just do leadership. Helen. Okay. So I like to do this because it's kind of like a magician. Like I don't just pick things that I know are going to work. So now, so Helen's planning a women's leadership conference, and this is what we've got to work with. Not bad, actually. Not, there's a lot of pink, too much pink for me, but it's a starting point. I'm not a pink person. So we can see beautiful and authoritative. Okay, don't get me started. So you can switch out, you know, if this is not your lead speaker, you can switch it out for a picture of your lead speaker. If you're doing podcasts related to that leadership conference, you know, you can update that. But it's giving you a starting point as opposed to just saying Instagram and hoping for the best. This is kind of leading you down that road a little bit. And then Suzanne has an international festival. Okay, let's see. Festival. Let's see where this one goes, where this one takes us. A lot of jazz at Oktoberfest. That's an interesting one. So it's, I guess. So again, it's going to give you starting points. We've got Pride, we've got mangoes, we've got autumn. I think it just took festival, really. International Friendship Day. Okay. So you can see, yes, we can search one thing, but I encourage you to look for keywords. So it might just be shopping and sale, if there's any retailers here today. So we can look at the sales, the discounts, and so on. Okay. So let's go back to, I'm going to do women's leadership here, Helen. We're going to do it. We're going down this road. Women as a leader. Oh, goodness. Okay. So this is something that you want to work with. You can see the other similar designs down here, and then you can say customize. Okay. So all of these templates can be customizable. You can remove or add anything to it. Now, one of the things and one of the reasons that I like to put in the brand kit is this. So pink is not my color. It's never been my color. On the left-hand side, we've got our template. So we can see that's where our template is. If I tab over to styles, it's actually going to bring up my brand kit. So mine's pretty, like it's boring. It's green, but I love it. But now I tap in green and it just customizes it to my brand colors. And it doesn't do much because again, it's like two tones. But that's another brand. Another brand. And see this little kind of mix, the arrows. If you tap it again, you're like, try it again, Canva. I don't like the first version. Try it again. Try it again. So for a lot of these, and it works best if there is a lot of colors to choose from, you can simply go through and say, okay, Canva, try your best. If I don't like the first one, I'll just tap and make it go through again. So this is why I like setting up the brand kit, because then you don't have to go in and manually change every single detail here. You just tap, you know, rotate. So then my next favorite thing is this duplicate. So now I've got this gal and maybe I want to compare. So I'm going to make 2 versions. I'm going to make 3 versions. Okay. So now you're going back to a board, you're going back to a committee, you're going back to whoever and saying, which one do you like? So I use this button at the bottom. It's this grid view. So then you can see the 3 different versions that we've created pretty quickly. So we got rid of our pink. You know, this one's my favorite. I think I like this one, this yellow, or this even classic white. And then you can continue to just do this. It'll just give you additional variations here. So let's do this. There might be one more in it. Is that enough? Yeah. So then we've got 5 different versions of a similar look. Now, what I would do before I'd get into colors, I'd update it. So now I, you know, Here I have to go through and update the text on each one, but I would update it, get all the text how I want it, and then go through and change colors. Okay. Okay, so those are our templates. White is better for photocopying. Okay, good. You used your brand kit. Okay, so kind of the next thing that you want to do, I'm going to use the white one because I prefer this one, is start to update and change with elements. And elements, I had a former colleague once refer to looking for graphics and photos like a time vampire. Like you can spend a lot of time looking for graphics and photos that you like or that you think the audience will be receptive to. So another little favorite tool that I have, if I tap search elements, I could say businesswoman. Okay, so I could start here and say businesswoman. And then I'm going to get kind of a selection of items in here. If I go into photos, it's going to be, a mishmash of business women. Now, what I like to do is I like to use this little option up here. So they're controls. So you see businesswoman, the X, and then these controls. So what this is going to do, you can actually search for elements that have a certain color palette, that are certain orientations. So square versus vertical versus horizontal, animated, static, free or pro. So if I'm looking for somebody like this, but I want it more in the yellow, we're going to see what happens. Let's see. So now it's going to give me colors in that respective tone. Instead of me saying, oh, I really wanted someone with like a yellow background, and I can't find that, use this to narrow down that search. And then if you think, oh, I'm tired of seeing all the regular Canva people, the graphics that we always see, you can just say, I want the pro ones. So now these are only available for people who pay. So then it kind of limits that usage a little bit. So now we've got our selection of images, but it's got more of the yellow tone to it. Now, mind you, it is a background, so it's not quite what I wanted, but again, it kind of puts us in the right direction. Okay, how are we feeling? We're about halfway through. Can I get a pulse check? Can I get a pulse check on the audience? I don't think I've lost anyone yet, which is good. Okay, we've got hearts. I like the hearts. This is a good thing. Okay, thank you. And then I'll just leave this here too while we're going through. You've learned a couple things. Oh, Suzanne. Oh, that is our next thing. I'm going to put my Google review. So if you want to leave a review. Okay, so let's come back to my so here I just kind of gave that example. If you're doing something for Thanksgiving, always use this little tool up here and narrow it down. It works a little bit better for graphics because of the colors, but it helps narrow down, reduce that time vampire-ish thing where you just think, oh my gosh, I just spent 45 minutes looking for a picture and I found nothing. So it helps with that. It helps reduce that. So as you've seen with my previous design, you can actually create multiple designs within one. So you can create up to 99 different variations or different versions of it. And what I like to do is to rename them because we've all done it. We've all have the Canva folder that downloads. You open it up and it's like numbers 1 through 35. And you're like, I don't know what any of these are. So what you want to do is make sure that you rename all of them when you're going through. So that's what this is up here. So page 1, add page title. So you can say design white back, for example, women's leadership. So when all of these download together, it will say white background, blue background, turquoise, and so on. So it gives you a little bit more context as opposed to 1 through 35 that I, yes, have been guilty of doing as well. The other thing you can do as well is you can do the resize. And there's a lot of chatter about resize. It is a Canva Pro feature. However, you can copy and paste it just as easy. And it works basically just as well. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get Canva Pro just to do the resize, you could probably just do copy and paste because it really doesn't do what everyone thinks it's going to do. Like it's not going to completely make the design for you. So let me show you how that works. It's like the wizard behind the curtain. So I've got my 5 designs here. I'm going up to resize. And then what I want to do is make it into an Instagram story. So you can see it's a pro tool. I'm going to make it into an Instagram story. It's not going to be perfect. A lot of people think it's going to be perfect and it's not. They just copy it from the square and put it in a rectangle. So then you still have to adjust everything. So you're still going to kind of move her around. You're going to kind of change this a little bit. Maybe delete this. So it's not a perfect solution. So that actually worked out really well. That was quick. But you can do it just as easily with a copy and paste. So if I went here, copy, I'll just do this for an example, paste. So it does the same thing, copy, paste, or resize function. Okay, so that's kind of the wizard. All right, so we had a question about changing the color of this gal's top. I'm excited about this. So this is the AI component. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this so we don't totally mess her up. We're going to do, actually, no, I'm going to leave her there. So for anything on here, we can adjust. So I've selected this gal. I'm going to tap on edit photo. And there's a lot of tools in here. So there's that background remover that I haven't talked about yet. There's a magic eraser, and then there's a magic edit. Okay. So now it says brush over the area that I want to kind of adjust or change. I'm doing this pretty quickly. So and again, it's a little bit harder with her hair. Okay, so continue. Make the shirt yellow. So let's see. When I play with this, it's kind of interesting what happens. So there's the make the shirt yellow. So we are going to see it's under edit photo, Helen. Not even close. It added weird stuff on there. No, one result may not meet our policies. No, that didn't work there. Let's try it again. So we're going to go to edit photo, magic edit. I wonder if it's just not liking her top. There's another way to do this too, but okay. So continue. Let's see. Okay. So we gave her a yellow flower. That was a bit easier. So now she's got kind of like a yellow daisy in here. So let's duplicate this again. There's another way to do this. So there's that part. So again, edit photo. We can also go to adjust. So here's another kind of cool thing. So this is where you can change like brightness and contrast. So all those bits, but they've increased it or improved it such that it can either change the foreground or the background. It works a little bit better with like full images. So you can say foreground. And then you can change colors in here. So you're changing kind of all of her skin tone. You can do auto adjust. And yes, sometimes it's the wording. So remember you're talking to a computer. So let's see if we can just put yellow shirt. I'll try this one. I have some examples I did of myself. So let's do one more of her and see if we can get. Continue. It's really scary if you try and do like anything with the face because it said don't do faces. And so I was trying it, obviously. It's like terrifying. So if you need decorations for Halloween, just use the AI to do stuff to like faces, and it's quite scary. Okay, so now it's giving her, it looks like a necklace and it's not even close. They gave her a third arm here. They gave her like yellow pants or something. They gave a yellow necklace. Yeah. So it's not quite working. So again, it's beta. So I do want to show you what I did for myself because it took a little bit, and it does take a little bit of practice. So this is a picture. This is a picture of me from a while back when I had lots of makeup on. So that's the original picture. So then I said, give me a bird tattoo. So then now I've got like a bird tattoo on my arm, which I do not. There is no bird tattoo up there. Then I said, give me a flower. So it changed my dress. It kind of made it, I don't know, more velvety with a yellow flower. Then I said, give me a green dress. And then I said, change the background to corporate setting. So I took out that gray background and I've kind of put me in like a quasi office. So it does take a little bit of working, but it's not bad. Like even for something like this to give it more context, it's pretty good, I'd say. So play with the AI tools. So again, number one is our original, and then, those are the alternates. They're not terrible. They're not bad. Okay. All right. So somebody is all of this stuff under edit photo? Yes, all of this is under edit photo. So you do have to make sure that you have the photo selected, and then we'll have the edit photo up top. Otherwise, that option's not going to be there and you might kind of go crazy trying to find it. So make sure you have the edit photo, and then all of these options show up underneath. This is my favorite one, duotone. Okay. So there's one that I haven't shown yet, and I'm just going to do this here. And we're going to use her. Is the background remover. So again, background remover, it's basic at this point. It's a paid feature, but it's worth its weight in gold. I always joke in these sessions that I lost my childhood removing backgrounds using Photoshop masks, like when I was 17, like Photoshop 20 years ago. But now she can kind of go anywhere. We've taken out that yellow background on her, and you can put, let's just put a background on her. We can do it another way too. There you go. She's on somewhere. She's hiking and doing work on a hike or something. And it looks a little bit off. It's not ideal, but this is what that background remover can do for you. So let's put her background back in for a moment. And then we're going to go back to edit photo, and we're going to go to magic edit. So that's again where that AI is. Oh, that's a lot of background. That's okay. I'll try. I'm going to try and do this efficiently. Go around her feet. Let's see how well this is going to go. So you still need some patience with this. Let's see how well. Corporate. Let's see. Let's see. Nope, that one didn't do it. Let's do change to an office background. Background. And it's probably because I didn't get very close to her body. So it will need some patience. I do wish they had like a lasso tool. I don't know what they're doing to her here. Okay, well, they put some flowers around her. I'm okay with it. So it's not quite the corporate background that we want. They put some weird stuff here. But it's something to play around with. Okay. You can also tap your generate new results and see if it gets any better. But again, it's probably because I'm not getting really close to her body that it's making it very squared off here. And again, not bad. This one's weird, but this one's okay. All right. Okay. So before we finish up, I want to go through. So in the last kind of 10 minutes, I want somebody to give me a company, and then we'll make something similar to what we did with our women's leadership. So we've got women's leadership we've done. We've checked on International Festival. So let's do one kind of start to finish here. Healthcare podcast. Okay. Healthcare. I'm going to disappear from the screen because I feel like they're going to do work out my build outside and it's going to get loud. All right. So we've got a healthcare podcast. So it's pulling on the podcast more so than healthcare. So let's do, maybe this one looks good. So we're going to say customize. Okay. So we're going to start with podcast. What's the color that goes with healthcare most commonly? Blue. Okay. So again, we used our templates here, but below that there's options. So there's just color palettes they will suggest for you. Let's see. I'm not a fan of that. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we've got podcast, become an excited career woman. Hear that, ladies? You can be an excited career woman. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. And then we are going to look for healthcare. So you can look under your photos and drag and drop over. Because I guess it's about the healthcare career woman here. Now for the background, so you can change any of this. So these are graphical elements here. So if you want to remove them, you can put them back. So September 14th, and we'll do 10 o'clock a.m. And you can say Spotify maybe is your choice of podcast. So you could start with something like that. Episode 22, become an excited. Oh, it's in all caps. Become an intelligent career woman. Okay. So you can do something like that. Now we didn't get into any animations yet, but you can animate any piece of this clicking the animate tool. So if I click podcast and then I tap animate, So then you can have little bits of animation in your graphic. The other thing you can do is put videos in. So let's put these people in. So you could have a standard static graphic, and then the only video part is kind of in the center, so in that frame. So I'm going to show you. So you could have the animation with text or with elements moving. And I'm just going to flip to the next one. And now we have podcast with these healthcare professionals kind of in that frame. Okay. So you can save them as PNGs, so they can be a standalone graphic, or it can be a video. So if you wanted to do a reel, so this could be in kind of a reel format. Yes, so today's session is recorded. So today's session is free to attend, but if you want to purchase a copy, then I think it's $20 afterwards to purchase a copy. So this is kind of two different options for adding animation. So it could be text, or it could be a video here. Yes, you can add audio. So the next thing that you could do, I don't think it's too loud. It's not quite new. So you can add audio. Now, if you want to add your own audio, hope you can't hear that. If you want to add your own audio, you can do voiceover as well. So you could have voiceover added to it. And a lot of people, so I used to teach at the college, and I'd have a lot of students do their entire Canva presentations and then do voiceover, and they put their faces in like the bottom corner. So you can do that there. So to add any voiceover, it would be under uploads and then record yourself. So that's where you could have either an audio file or you kind of presenting, for example, like if you're doing a webinar, but maybe you have to be more remote. Okay. So those would be the two options. Okay. So those are kind of the quick and dirty of Canva. So we've got a couple minutes left. So I'll take any questions that you have from Canva. So for the next kind of 3 to 5 minutes, I'll just take questions from the audience. And thank you so much for attending. What I'll do, if you want to give us a review on Google, we can do that there. If you want to join us for additional sessions, oh, I just sent it privately. If you want to join us for additional sessions, we talk about Facebook ad, well, meta ads, and then content creation. And then you can join us on Facebook and LinkedIn. So questions. I'm sure you have questions. Maybe. There's no questions. Yeah, there is a lot of features, and it's the AI one that's kind of the most interesting to a lot of people. And it's a matter of, I'd say, like playing with it. Let's see if I can do one more just to see if we can get. It is fast. I talk quick. This one's a bit easier. Let's see if we can give me a different background. See, this is where, so anyone who knows the lasso, I wish we had a lasso. You can just select the background. Let's see if we can put me on the beach. It's not bad. Perfect, but it's not bad. Could be like a travel consultant with this. Okay. And go back. Let's see if it'll make me an office. Okay, so different backgrounds there. Don't worry about the fire alarm. They're just testing fire alarms if you can hear. I hope not. So it's just a matter of going and make the gray an office. But again, it's beta right now, so it's going to take a little bit of working to make it kind of perfect. There we go. That one's better. Oh, look at, they put me with this guy. That's cute. Don't think I need that. Okay. All right. So I don't see any questions. So thank you so much for attending. For those of you who purchased a copy of the recording, you'll have that by tomorrow morning. I look forward to seeing you at the next session, which is in October, and we're talking about meta ads. So thank you so much for attending. I hope you all have a really great day and have fun with Canva today.